Now, I know you blokes go to bed at 6 o'clock, the kings of breakfast radio.
Yeah, we do.
But you missed one of the best games of the season.
I watched the last 2 minutes.
You watched the last two. Well, it was a cracking game right through until the last quarter. And you can just, you realise why Ross was so excited. I mean, he's a bloke who's lost a grand final by a point. It's nice to be on the winning side of those close ones. But
you boys know Rossi well. This is un-Ross-like, isn't it?
Well, the season was on the line for this one.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what I'm saying.
Players, man.
No, he always has, but he doesn't publicly just kiss blokes on the head like that.
I think he's softened up a bit, hasn't he, Rossi?
I think you're right, Gaz. It's a good point. I mean, I was filthy. I got on a plane, they didn't have the Wi-Fi, and I was watching the game, and then I couldn't see the second half, and then I looked at it and win by a point. That's a big win. I think they know.
They should have won by more, though.
They should have won by more. I think that's the thing that would frustrate him.
They kept bowling the ball into the forward line.
Yeah, the inside 50s look at 15-6, but I think they realise there's a little bit of an opportunity. They realise that, you know, that in that mix, you win that and you're 5-5. Yeah, you look up above you and you see some teams that you think, geez, we can. And I reckon if you look at their last 6 or 7 weeks, they could easily be 7-3. There's a couple of other games that they could have won, and I think that's why it was such a big win, Jared, because I reckon they would have thought we've lost a couple we should have won, and that's probably one they get back. Get you to 5-5 and get you in the mix.
Brisbane beat them over there last year too. So Brisbane would have confidence. They can go there and make the trip.
They lose no fans. I mean, they continue. I know you dismissed them as a premiership hope, Jonathan, but
they could move into a top final hope if Jesse fires. And Jesse Hogan had a troubled start to the season. He's working hard. He's had some okay games. Couldn't get near it. Got well beaten by Harris Andrews on the weekend. This was really interesting at three-quarter time though. Ross knows this kid would be inside his head and he's trying to suck something out of him for the final quarter.
I know, he's saying to him there, you're the big dog, play like a big dog and get in line with the football and start leading into the midfielder's vision. 5 times he did it that quarter. Here's one of them, Jared. You spotted this beautifully during the game. This is the problem with Jesse. Sometimes he doesn't lead into the vision of his midfield. That's Michael Walters, who's a left footer, can only kick it on his opposite foot. What's Jesse Hogan doing trying to get the ball in the corridor? And sometimes he falls into that habit, Gas.
And that last bit there, when he turns his back on the mark and starts to look up at Michael Walters and not realising that he was going the wrong spot.
He lets himself down.
And Roosie, you've been with him, you know him much better than us, but he's an internaliser, Jesse, as well.
Yeah, he is. And I think let's not forget he hasn't played a lot of footy in the last 2 or 3 years. His year as rising star was as good a forward as I've seen, and forward craft Brownie. There's no question. I saw him do some things that I hadn't seen a young forward do for years. He kept us in games. He won games. So I think the upside is enormous.
Sorry, I want to jump in. Was that when the game was simpler for him? Like he just come into the game. He had no other issues, nothing else swirling around his head. Just went and played.
I think also that the fact that he hasn't played a lot of footy, but the fact that last year, and you could see why they did it. Melbourne started to play him as a midfield, started to play him as a high half forward, started to play him in the wing, and then Brownie, change your game a bit. I think it'll take him a little while to get back to where he was. But I'm a bit like you, Jared. I think the upside with Jesse Hogan is enormous, and 2 or 3 weeks' time, as we see him getting into those habits, Brownie, and I reckon he'll be fine.